Spoilers ahead, please be cautious. The movie starts with Philip Savage in a psychiatric clinic. Philip has always had a difficult life, being a war veteran who experienced combat in Iraq and Afghanistan firsthand. He fought against Al-Qaeda, who took young prisoners and blew them up. Now, Philip must spend some time in the psychiatric ward at a veterans hospital. Moving on to Wayne Barkley, a philanthropist and boxer who is planning construction projects in his hometown. When a woman tells him to watch the news on TV, they discover that a famous rapper named Terrell Singletary has been released from prison after only serving 18 months of his 10-year sentence. This news worries Wayne's family, but he assures them that it won't be a problem. Terrell went to prison because of Wayne, so his family advises him to be careful and hire security. Wayne's manager suggests hiring Clarence Bowden, a former war veteran. Clarence approaches Philip and tells him about a job offer for the two of them. Meanwhile, Terrell is released from prison and returns home. He plans to get even with Wayne, despite his lawyer's advice to stay low-key. Clarence and Philip go to Tamara Barkley's office, Wayne's sister, for a job interview. Tamara explains the situation and what they will have to do. After the interview, she tells her assistant that she has a strange feeling about Philip, who justifies it by saying he suffers from PTSD. Tamara decides to test Clarence and Philip by taking Wayne to a nightclub with a few security guards. Inside the club, Philip experiences a PTSD flashback. Tamara notices this and decides that Philip is not fit for the job. Later, Wayne leaves the club and is attacked by Terrell's henchmen. Philip uses his firearm to protect Wayne, while Clarence defends him with his body. Wayne manages to kill the last two criminals but finds Clarence bleeding on the ground. The next day, Philip attends Clarence's funeral, where Wayne and Tamara are present. Tamara suggests hiring Philip as their personal security guard. However, Detective Teague interrupts them and handcuffs Philip for discharging weapons in public without permission. Tamara and Wayne are confused, but Detective Teague assures them that they will be able to talk to the judge. Meanwhile, Terrell's henchmen inform him that Wayne is still alive. Terrell orders one of the henchmen to be killed and threatens the others if they don't find a way to kill Wayne. Tamara goes to the police station and pulls Philip out, asking him to create a reliable team of security guards with him as their leader. Philip accepts the assignment. A few days later, Wayne is called to the police station by Detective Teague. The detective shows Wayne pictures of Philip during the war and reveals that Philip was sent to a psychiatric facility after massacring a group of youngsters in Iraq. Detective Teague warns Wayne that Philip is dangerous and unpredictable. In the evening, Philip goes to the Barkley house to have dinner and get to know each other better. Wayne is visibly frustrated but doesn't mention what he found out from the detective. Overall, the movie follows the story of Philip, Wayne, and Terrell, with twists and turns that keep the audience engaged. Philip immediately informs him about work and advises him to fire the security guards he hired because they are not good enough. The next day, Wayne takes Philip to his boxing gym to recruit security guards for his team. Philip is disappointed and tells Wayne that he needs professionals, not young amateur boxers. However, Wayne convinces him to give them a chance. Philip agrees to see what the young men are capable of and selects a few candidates for the role. When he notices a girl, he immediately says he only needs strong men. The girl challenges him to step into the ring to show him what she can do. She impresses Philip with her skills, and he decides to consider her as a candidate. Soon, a man named Casey arrives to help Philip train the young boxers to become security guards. Philip and Casey even teach them how to use guns. During one of the training sessions, the girl asks Philip how many people he has killed. This triggers a flashback for Philip to a tragic episode in the war, but he quickly recovers. Later in the evening, Philip visits Tamara and updates her on how things are going. On his way back to the hotel, he notices someone hiding in a bush. It turns out to be Wayne, who wants to visit his secret girlfriend Lydia without anyone knowing. Philip insists on accompanying him. After they arrive, Wayne goes in to meet Lydia while Philip stays outside to check the roads. Wayne's driver sees a car approaching with Terrell's henchman. He tries to call Wayne, but Wayne is occupied with Lydia. Philip also sees the car with the henchman arriving a little later. The thugs enter the house and threaten Wayne with guns. Fortunately, Philip surprises them from behind and disarms them. The driver brings in one of the disarmed criminals, and shortly after, Casey also arrives. They discuss what to do with the criminals. Meanwhile, Wayne is about to leave, mentioning that he has a sports complex to attend to the next day. Before the event begins, Philip talks to Casey and expresses a strange feeling. Next, Tamara informs Wayne that the mayor he is supposed to meet will arrive in 5 minutes. Philip advises Wayne to let his sister go on stage for him. However, Wayne refuses with dignity. Later, the mayor arrives and the event starts. During Wayne's speech, Philip spots a suspicious person in the crowd and instructs the security guards to apprehend him. It turns out to be Simcoe Terrell's right-hand man. When the man reaches into his pocket, the security guards mistake it for a weapon and tackle him. Chaos erupts, and people start running out of the building. The detective arrives, and it is revealed that the man was reaching for his phone, not a gun. Once the reporters arrive, the detective taunts Wayne's security guards. Wayne, furious, refers to Philip as a schizophrenic who should be locked up in a mental institution. Unaware of this, the camera leaves confused. Philip orders a security guard to follow Tamara and then confronts Wayne for insulting him in front of everyone. He quits and challenges Wayne to fight together in his boxing gym. Wayne immediately accepts, and at the gym, they engage in a mixed martial arts fight instead of boxing. Both fighters prove to be skilled martial artists. After a long and honest fight, they end up grabbing each other by the neck. Suddenly, Casey and others enter to inform them that Tamara has been attacked and the security guard who defended her is seriously injured. They quickly rush to the hospital and find Jessie, the security guard, who has just come out of a coma. She claims not to know where Tamara is and reveals that among the attackers was Simcoe Terrell's right-hand man. Wayne considers asking the authorities for help, but Philip explains that it would put Jessie's life in danger. Philip instructs Jessie to remain silent if any cops try to question her. A detective arrives to ask Jessie some questions, but she pretends she cannot speak. They are ordered to leave, and Jessie tries to ask about Tamara, but Wayne realizes that she couldn't have known she was missing. Jessie mentions that it's just a hunch, and Philip points out that something is wrong with the detective, as he always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Later, Wayne and Philip are in the car together. Wayne reveals what the detective told him about Philip's past. Philip confesses that during a war in Iraq, he accidentally killed a terrorist with a bomb on him, resulting in the deaths of 25 children. After the incident, he was labeled as insane and committed to a psychiatric hospital. After this confession, Wayne reveals why he and Terrell are enemies. At the beginning of Wayne's career, Terrell wanted to pay him to intentionally lose a fight. Nevertheless, he refused. As a result, Terrell killed his brother. After this incident, Wayne did everything to prove Terrell's guilt and subsequently, Terrell was sent to prison. Suddenly, Lydia, who is being threatened by a gun, calls Wayne to her home. However, she tells him to come without Philip. After the call cuts off, Philip tells him he must come along if he wants to end this. Half an hour later, Wayne arrives at Lydia's house and notices the bruises on her face. Then he finds Terrell's henchman and the detective who works for them in the living room. The detective reveals that Terrell has Tamara and if Wayne wants her back, he must accept a deal from Terrell. Suddenly, the lights go out and Philip enters the house with Casey. The two veterans quickly kill the henchman in less than 10 seconds. Wayne orders the detective to take them to Terrell's mansion. As they enter, Philip and Casey quickly get out of the car ninja style in the garage. Wayne threatens the detective with a gun and orders the henchman to take him to Terrell. When Terrell is informed of Wayne's arrival, he takes a gun and orders his men to follow him. Meanwhile, Terrell's lawyer goes to keep an eye on Tamara. The young lawyer removes Tamara's handcuffs. Just then, Philip and Casey walk in the door in the garage. Terrell kills the detective, and then a violent shootout ensues while Casey and Philip take Tamara outside. Wayne and his men fight Terrell and his henchmen. Wayne's men chase the criminals away and pursue them. Only Wayne and Terrell remain in the garage. Terrell proposes to settle things as businessmen, but then pulls out a gun and shoots Wayne in the shoulder. Meanwhile, Philip and Casey fight the henchmen outside. Later, the young lawyer arrives in the garage and tries to stop Terrell, who shoots him while Terrell is distracted. Wayne begins to beat him up and Philip starts a fight with Simcoe. Another henchman enters the garage and Wayne finds himself threatened by two guns. Fortunately, Philip arrives and shoots the henchman. Terrell suddenly shoots Philip, but he is wearing a bulletproof vest. Wayne punches Terrell and then drops a car on top of him, killing him. An ambulance arrives later. And it turns out all of Philip's team survived. In the aftermath, Wayne joins his girlfriend Lydia and comes to terms with Tamara and Philip's relationship. And they live happily ever after. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications and leave a like to help the channel out.